Contestant number 4, Jim Avram.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, especially Matthew. Thank you. I feel very privileged to hear that speech. It flew by. The title, when I heard it before you even started speaking, I was very engaged. What is your why? I wanted to know. So you had my full attention the entire time. You started off, really drew the audience in. You talked about getting an offer for your dream job. Relates to most people in the audience. If we are not lucky enough to be working our dream job, we have an idea of what our dream job is. Talked about how you're excited and eager to go to work on that first day. Must have been a really good job, because most of us probably don't wake up super fired up to go to work on a weekday or whenever you go to work. And also you're dressed to impress. So we can tell you took it seriously, you look very sharp, just as you would have that first day at work. You went on, told us how the day was going, and your manager asked you to represent him at this big meeting. A little bit intimidating. No big deal though, you're feeling cool and confident. Go into that meeting, there's a lot of new colleagues, and then someone asked you a question where you froze. You couldn't answer the question. And this is where you did something that I thought was very, very effective. When you were explaining this situation, you used very clear vocal variety, and you said, I froze, I could not answer the question. You paused between each and every word. It really drew it out. Let us know what that felt like, struggling for every single word, words that you couldn't get out. Extremely effective. You're very embarrassed, obviously. Talked about going back to your desk afterwards. We can only imagine. A lot of us have, I've personally definitely been in that situation. Can't say I felt exactly like you did, but a pretty good idea of how awful you would have been feeling. Then your manager comes. Uh-oh, this is it. This is where I get fired. You're sitting there. Your manager seems pretty calm. He asks you a question. Again, you froze. Awful. Just worst thing that could possibly happen in that situation. Then you talk about how you're saved by a phone call. Your manager steps out, and you share a story of a similar situation that happened when you were back in grade 5. And again, you're asked a simple question, and you just froze. You couldn't answer it, and everyone started laughing, belittling you. And you're just flashed back to this situation. And then you go on to talk about this a little bit more. You talk about when your manager comes back into the room. And when you talk about coming back, or when your manager comes back in the room, you use gestures, and I think you sped up your voice too, to sort of psychologically bring us back to that space with you. Mm-hmm. That was extremely effective. Those are the main things I want to commend you for. A couple things to recommend. Possibly, it might be very effective to actually stutter a little bit, or you did give an example, but if you actually did stutter when you're trying to explain that, it would have made it very effective. And a little bit more vocal variety, and also some more sound effects. You used them a couple times, like when you talked about how you were beaten, you made sounds. If you did things like that a little bit more often, intermittently throughout the speech, it would make it even better. But overall, I just want to thank you for sharing a very personal story, very inspirational. I think it'll help us all. And you addressed the audience very well. You spread your attention across the room, and it really felt like a conversation. So thank you for that.